Don't know anybody else there. I was going to University of Phoenix, but they have a campus there, so I did the campus, and then he worked, and within 9 months, I don't know, my body just would get sick. Like, I can't even explain it to you guys. I would just throw up and just felt bad, and I was either homesick or too young to have gotten married, or just, it's not that he wasn't a good husband, but he wasn't the right husband for me. So he went out of town to California 1 week, and when I get something in my head, guys, it just happens. Like, there's no stopping me. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I am an Aquarius, and we're stubborn, and that's just what happens. So he went out of town. I had already planned in the back of my head, like, I'm going to pack my stuff. I'm going to move out, and we'll just divorce, after I'm out of the home. So I told my parents about it, and they were like, all right, well, be safe, do what you got to do, and let us know, and we'll help you, get back to Texas after you get all this figured out. So I went on not Match.com. I went on Match.com to find somewhere to live. I went on Roommates.com, and this girl named Lucia, she hit me up, like maybe a couple days later, and she said, hey, one of my girls, it's a 2-story townhome. All the bedrooms were upstairs, and she had one room that she was about to vacate the chick out of because she was having parties with alcohol, and they were leaving cigarette butts outside, and her parents owned this townhome for her while she went to college, and it just sounded like a total crap show. So she was getting rid of one girl, and there was an Asian girl that lived in the last room. She was Middle Eastern, and I'm Lebanese, white, Irish, I don't know what else. So I'm like, oh, well, we're all going to get along great. We're all, mixed, and it's just going to be good stuff. So I went over there and met her one day, and we hit it right off. And so I got some money saved up. He left to go out of town. I moved into this place. I started working for Labella Spa and Salon, like one of the nicest freaking spas that I've ever seen in my life. That was in New Mexico. Started working there, I don't know how much longer, maybe a month after I had moved out. I wake up, guys. I wake up to my husband in my new townhome with the girls. I'm living with the girls now. All my stuff's moved in. I'm over here, right? He's just standing over me. He's like, hey, you want to come downstairs and talk to me? And I'm like, is this a dream? Like, is this really happening to me? He was literally really there. So I don't know how he figured it out, but he either followed me from school or stalked me somewhere. And we must have not locked our door that night, and he just came right in and found me. So after that was done, he said he's moving to California. Like, we're done. He'll get the divorce papers, and I'll get them mailed to me and all that good jazz. And that was the last time I saw him. But now over the years, it's been, 20 years now? I've talked to him on the phone multiple times, and I mean, we're still friends. Still a good vibe there. It's just we weren't meant to be forever. But long story short, he moved away. I didn't know anybody. I was nannying for some doctors, and I did Labella Spa and Salon. So I had a lot of good jobs coming around, but I needed like quick thousands of dollars, like instantly, so I could pack up all my stuff. Literally, I needed a freight truck to take everything I had, because I took basically everything in the house and my car to get to Texas again. So I was up in my room one night, and I was thinking, man, I like both my jobs, but I need to get more money. Like, I need to think of something fast and quick. And I heard some music, and I was like, well, what's going on in there? So I went to knock on Lucy's door, and she lets me in, and she's got her laptop out, and she's just dancing and talking and all this, and I'm like, what are you doing? So she gets off, and she introduces me to the world web of webcam. So that's kind of how that started. So I tried doing the webcam thing. $1,000 a week, easy peasy, guys. Worked a couple weeks, kept doing my other job, did this job at night. So, I mean, I was just working, and then doing school. I'm amazed I passed, considering that year. But it literally took me maybe 3 months I lived with her. And I had enough money I saved up. Got an 18-wheeler guy. They moved all my stuff into a truck. Drove me all the way down to Clear Lake, Texas, baby. So I got an apartment there. My mom actually found the apartment. And once I got down there, we all set it up. And it was super cute. And I was still going to college. Still had one more year to go. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be done with this webcam stuff. Like, that was just a one-time thing. Like, I just needed quick money. I'm over it now. It was fun while it lasted, blah, blah, blah. Well, I go on Craigslist. And I'm, like, good at sales. I used to do door-to-door Kirby's. I've done Cutco knives. I've done makeup and Mary Kay. And, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of everything. Jewelry, rodeo jewelry, clothes, fashion. I mean, I've done so much stuff. It's crazy. So I just go on Craigslist and I'm looking for sales jobs. And there's this water softener company, Hamilton Beach. And the same guy owns the teeth whitening booths that are in the Bay Area Mall and at Deerbrook Mall. He had like 3 different booths at different malls for the teeth whitening. And he was looking for a candidate to do that. And to also run and manage or train the Hamilton Beach Water door-to-door water softener systems. So I hit this guy up. Again, this guy's from like Egypt. And we just hit it right off. Personalities were vibing. So I worked for this guy for, I want to say 3 years. And in the middle of the 3 years, his mom got real sick and went to the hospital out of state. Like, she's from a different country. So he had to go and take off for about 3 months. So at this point, we're established. We've got sales reps. I've got an office right downtown, Westheimer and Hillcroft. Things are going good. Life is good. I'm single. And I'm just focused on myself and money and finishing school. Well, Ed doesn't tell me what's going on with these townhomes that he owns. But every week, I had to pick up money from these townhomes around Houston during my job day, like during my day of job. And I was just like, okay, so he owns townhomes. You would pick it up monthly if it was just the rent that he, you know what I've said? Like, if he owns all these, why wouldn't he just get rent mailed to him or whatever? So I'm not going to ask any questions. It is what it is. But I was still like stupid young blonde, didn't know what was happening yet. Okay. So then I go to these houses. I pick up some money. And there's one house that I get to. And there's like that mailbox black thing that's attached to the door, the front door. Like old townhomes where it's not a mailbox. It's just that little black thing and you got a little slip in it. Okay. So this one house, it didn't have anything in it. But I could hear people again. I could hear somebody in the house. So I was like, well, I might as well hit them up because I don't have to drive all the way back over here, guys. I'm in Clear Lake. My job is over here by the Galleria. Like, that is a hike for me. And I don't want to stay out late when I'm a single chick by myself in college. Like, I want to be home before it's dark time. I mean, I've always been like that. I've always been real reserved unless I have somebody with me at the time. Like, I don't like to be out. Like, I'd rather just be home and know that I'm safe. And that's just what I do. I've just always been that way. But I don't know. It was early during the day. So anyway, I knock on the door and this chick opens the door and she is wearing a sexy outfit. We'll just say that. And I'm like, hey, I'm Leslie. I work for Ed and I'm just here to collect rent, I think. But there's no rent here or a note or anything. Do you know anything about that? So she lets me come in and of course, with my personality, people just love to tell me stuff. And I love to ask questions. So long story short, she shows me these rooms and they're just massage beds. And it's a 2-story house. And there's a couch, a TV, like chill area, the kitchen. I mean, they had food and everything. Like, it was a legit place to live. But there was no beds. So I was like, well, what do you mean? What is this place? So they got charged by Ed $80 a day to rent out a room to do massage therapy out of. And guys, I'm telling y'all, he had 6. And he had 4 girls at each location. I mean, if you start doing the math, it's like insane amounts of money. I'm like, are you serious right now? This is crazy. So, of course, one of me and my girlfriends that worked with Ed as well, another one, that were on the sales side, not this side yet, we decided, dude, how easy would that be for us to, like, run a place? You know what I mean? Like, it's bad enough when a guy has to run a place for girls. I'm not going to expect anything in return, you know? Like, I don't need you to flirt with me or hang on me or sit on my lap or, you know, tell me that I'm so handsome and I smell good or whatever, you know, girls do for male bosses. So I'm like, dude, how cool would that be if we were bosses and we did the same thing on the side? So, of course, me being as crazy and wild and free as I always have been, we find an apartment down in Clear Lake. I get approved for it. I'm renting a house on my own. At this point, I left my apartment, moved to a house, and then rented an apartment. So now I have 2 things in my name. The house that I rented was just a for rent by owner. I pulled up. The people were Yugoslavic. I can't remember their names, but it was a cool name. But I told them, you know, like, hey, I'm just got a divorce. I'm in college right now. Most of my money that I make is like through commissions. I mean, I got paid a salary. It was like $500 back then a week. And then I would make commissions on everybody that did sales. And then if I had to go do the teeth whitening, I would always get like an extra $700 that month. So, I mean, I pulled in maybe $3,000 back then. But it was just weird how my payments worked, where it's always like showed the last pay stub or whatever. So it gets confusing. All I know is I talked my way into the guy going, all right, if it's just you living here, and I was like, yeah, it's just me and my dog. And he was fine with it. So I got that place right off the rip without my credit being checked or anything, which I'm pretty sure I don't have any credit anyways at this point. Then I got the other place. And that was it's kind of a hole in the wall apartment that I got for the first run. But it was one of those $200 move-in specials. And I was right next to Sherlock's Bar on Saturn Lane. And I was like, what a great opportunity. We'll have the bar right here. We'll hit up some girls that go to these bars and see if they need any extra money. And then they can come work for us behind the bar and stay in our apartment. So, long story short, within, 3 months, me and my girlfriend got our apartment set up. We got massage beds. We got towels, lotions, music. We had a little couch and a TV for the girls when they weren't doing anything. They had somewhere to chill, you know. And we started our own little adventure. And I don't know, I would say that place lasted for almost a year. But I would say they were starting to be irresponsible. We'll just go with that. And they would open the doors. So, like, it was an apartment complex in an apartment complex. And if you looked out your window, you would see the window to another apartment complex over here, right? So my girls decided to open their door one day, or open their window one day, and smoke a little bit of herb when it's definitely not legal, okay? Not thinking anything. Like, it's during the day. Most people are at work, whatever. And there's a lot of old people that lived in this neighborhood, too. So I'm at the grocery store, guys. And one of my friends from Willis, I'm not going to say who he was, but he was down visiting me. He hits me up and he's like, hey, Leslie, you're getting evicted from this apartment because so-and-so and so-and-so smoked weed. One of the neighbors were walking their cat or walking their dog or whatever they were walking, and they called and complained to the front office. So maintenance came, found out that they were smoking, so then they had to call the cops. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I'm buying the groceries, hurrying it up, like freaking out, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. This is going to put me in jail. Like, this is some type of solicitation, illegal business. Like, I'm going to be so all over the news in prison and all kinds of crazy. So I'm like tripping out. And my anxiety, guys, is like terrible. So y'all can imagine how I was feeling. Show up. There's a cop that showed up, and he literally has like a black trash bags. And he's like, hey, y'all gather up whatever y'all need to gather up with these, and whatever you can't take today, then we're just going to lock it up and we're going to deal with it. So I was like, what? So literally you're just going to evict us. We get to take whatever we can right now, and then we just never come back. And he's like, yes, that's what's going to happen. He said it's illegal to run a business in an apartment complex. without certain licenses and stuff. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm a blonde and I'm stupid. And yeah. So even though it was like a terrible situation, we were so blessed that nothing bad happened. Nobody got in trouble. We got to just close shop. At that point, we had established a few clients that were guys that came all the time, you know, like during the day. So I was fine. I had a 3-bedroom house, just me and my dog. So I allowed the girls to come into my other 2 rooms at my new house and work there for a little while until we opened up another place. So that's kind of how all that just started. And once my boss got back home and found out that I was doing it on the side, he wanted me to pay him a percentage because it was his idea, and you know, I'm stealing girls and this and that. And I did take a couple girls from him, not on purpose, but they were like, I'd rather come work for you. And I'm pretty sure my daily rate was cheaper. So anyway, it's crazy to see how stuff just ends up, you know? If you ever just sit back and like revamped your life and go, dang, like how did I even get there? What was I thinking? Or, I mean, I've just always been a gypsy soul, I guess, living on the wild side. I mean, I've always had, my heart's been in it. I've never done anything shady. I've never done anything out of spite or anger or jealousy. Like, my intentions are always true. I'm always genuine. I can't say that even though I was in hell doing, you know, the wild and crazy stuff, I mean, I still just always was, I was still always me, you know? And that, I guess, is what got me through my whole life, is just being me and kept me out of trouble. But yeah, so I did that, and then I finished college, and we'll just leave that to that story for today. And that's how I ended up in that business for a little while. And that's how I got back to Texas after my first marriage. Anyway, all right, well, happy Thursday. I am gonna go pick up my groceries soon. I just wanted to let y'all know that I was being lazy today, and I was thinking about you guys, and yeah, kind of just wanted to catch up a little bit and give you another little story of my life. All right, well, love you guys, and I hope everybody has a great day, and everybody has a great weekend coming up, and Christmas Eve and New Year's is going to be amazing for everyone. Love you. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe.